Lynn, Caroline, Diego.
Not Diego. Technically, do you really have to walk to the house?
What?
I'm sorry.
Like, I assume it's like, oh, teachers spring break and they're testing, like,
Yeah.
in
And
summer.
then, yeah,
Then you, like, take your path.
yeah.
But, like, technically, do you have to keep walking? You could just stop at spring break. I mean, it's a nice house.
I mean, I guess you could.
Yeah, exactly. So,
2, 3.
I do go alone.
And
Why is the
Blake.
person laying on the ground? What is this like from?
It's saying teachers are tired, but spring break is close.
Okay.
Testing's after spring break.
And then summer's forever.
Not so much for you guys, but AP testing. And then summer is somewhere down there.
you,
Spring break was, or if the school year was like a whole school day, then like spring break for me would just be like walking through the hallway to get to my next class.
It's true. It's a break, not a.
I just don't care about it much. I don't know why this year I specifically just don't care about it.
I'll take it.
Yeah, you better take it because that's the last big break y'all have for till summer.
April and May are awesome though.
I'm glad we have like. Didn't we used to not have Thanksgiving break?
Awesome. April's my birthday month.
Wednesday through Friday is always Thanksgiving break.
Okay.
Technically-
Well, now we have all week, right?
Well, technically Monday and Tuesday are school days too, but we make them teacher work days.
Oh, okay.
So
bells are off today.
y'all have that time off.
Why are the bells off today?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. The bells are turned off here. So we need to get going here. I actually have our agenda in backwards order, but the handout you guys picked up is number 96. That is 3.3, 3.4 worksheet 1. That should be used as a practice quiz. I think like the first 6 questions are mostly multiple choice, so they're pretty quick. A quick way to see if you know what you need out of 3.3 and 3.4. And then the last 6 are a little bit slower. Those are solving equations. But you shouldn't start with that yet. You really should practice the book, finish the book work first. So this long book assignment that we started last class, that I said as long as you got to a reasonable number, you did not need to proceed with any homework because I would give you some more class time. Well, today's the class time. So we're going to finish up the book work first, try to get in all the practice, try to learn from all the mistakes that we can, and then if we really know it, then the practice quiz should go okay. And then of course, if some questions are still tough, then that's helping you identify what it is that you might need to ask about and or study. Now, these 2 things are actually the assignments for the rest of the week, so I will see you guys on Friday again because it is an A week. So here's a chance you may not finish the practice worksheet today or the practice quiz today, and that's okay. But both of these need to be turned in before you leave for break. So you really should be finishing up the book work, maybe starting the practice quiz, and then Friday would be easy because all you have to do is finish the practice quiz. Yes.
So it's just like another work day.
Yes, essentially. We're kind of, ideally what would have been best is if we could have reviewed these 2 sections and quizzed it and been done with it when spring break started so we could start something new after spring break, but that was going to be a little bit too fast. So we will have to come back, review for a day, and then we'll finish the unit.
So it's gonna be on Wednesday.
That's the plan. Yes. So with that in mind, something that I mentioned last time that you need to consider is as you try these book questions and you have to ask questions or you're making a mistake or anything like that, you really should jot out to the side, circle those questions, jot the property down you didn't think of, jot the mistake down you didn't do correctly, any kind of short notes you can give yourself, because when y'all don't think about this stuff for a whole week on spring break, then you don't want to have to start from scratch. You want to have a quick little cheat sheet of what is it that is highest priority. Okay, before I give you a few minutes to try a couple questions, at the end of last class, I think you had like 15 minutes or so to do a few questions and then we ran out of time. So if you have any questions to ask, if you have them ready to go, we might as well start with those. There's no reason to wait. So, okay. Jenny?
Like 23, 26, do we need to put it in like a decimal, or could we leave it in like not to allow 99/2?
Yeah, you don't need to round it for me.
Okay.
Exact answer is better, as long as you know how to change it to a decimal in case we ask you to. But you don't have to do that in every question. Yes, sir.
50.
Number 50.
Yes.
Algebraically, okay, same directions. Okay, so you were not here for the first part of this, but one thing you have to know about logarithms, if there's no base written here, it's an understood base 10, so we really need to have that. And then this is what's called logarithmic form. When you have the log of something equals a number, this is what we refer to as logarithmic form. Most of the time, almost every time, switching this to what's called exponential form is going to... Boys, y'all need something?
Oh, sorry.
I can't. I'm trying to help him and I can't do that when my brain's listening to you. So to do that, exponential form's not going to have log in it, so that's going to go away. But in order for you to make this go away, you always have to switch these two. So 10 squared equals 3z is what we would call exponential form. And then if you can get it to that, 10 squared is 100, and then undo times with divide. So there would be your answer.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Oh, you're here to teach some logarithms?
Oh yeah, I love logarithms. Okay.
What's up?
Who do you email for like college board issues? Because I changed my email for college board this morning because they said they were going to shut down our G.Pay our account before we get scores. And now neither email works.
I would email Kenneth Gain, John Gain.
John Geen.
Yeah, he's one of our assistant principals. He's
Okay.
the one that's over AP stuff, so he should probably know.
Okay. John.Geen.
No, and email is Kenneth Gain.
Oh, Kenneth.
Yeah, and Gain is G-H-E-E-N.
G-H-E-E-N.
Yeah.
Kenneth.
Uh-huh.
Ken with 2 N's. Yeah.
Probably. Does it not pop up?
No, I've never emailed him before.
Here, wait, how about I just send you his email? That might be.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, I don't think it's like the end of the world with that. I think you just don't know your scores quite as quickly.
Oh, okay.
Like, you still get credit for them or whatever, but
Okay.
you just won't be able to like log in and see what your scores are over the summer, I think.
Okay. Thank you.
But I'm sure you'll pass them all.
Thank you.
Yeah, and if he doesn't know, I've got somebody else. Mr. Kaminsky used to be over AP, so he would be the next one to ask on
Okay.
campus.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, Diego, you had something.
Is the test just gonna be like this?
You should expect the test to look similar to that practice worksheet. Are you done with the bookwork? Do the bookwork first. There's no point in trying to practice quiz before you have all of your practice in.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's just not the point. Luke? Okay. Ready?
Yeah, like 62. It's just like if these things are bad, we shouldn't multiply them in the first place. And then just don't get over. You don't need parentheses.
Okay, actually I didn't tell you guys this, but you will all want to hear this. 62, I took off of the assignment.
62?
Yeah, you do not have to do 62. Now, if you're looking for a good challenge, you're welcome to try it, but here's why I took it off. The first of the question's completely fine. You've got 2 of the same type of logs separated with subtraction, so you can condense those. Girls, can y'all postpone that, please? You certainly need to know how to condense. That is an expectation we have. We certainly expect you to see logarithmic form and switch it to exponential form. That will almost certainly be on the test. But the solving of this is just far more difficult than we're going to expect you to do on the test. So that's why I'm taking it off, don't worry. So if you want to give it a shot, go for it, but I'm not going to hold you responsible. Since it's an even question, the answer is not in the back of the book, but I do have a video on my website, so you could just skip to the end to check your answer if you do want the challenge. So I'm taking it off because it's the second half of the question, not the first half of the question.
Wait. Quadratic formula. Is it e plus or minus the square root of negative b plus 4ac?
Try again.
Oh, negative b, b squared plus 4ac. There's a minus 4ac.
Is that it?
Over a squared, right? Or 2.
I highlighted the parts you missed. Now, do I think our test is going to have a lot of quadratic formula? Probably not, but there might be one or maybe two at the most.
Okay. So I should
It's-
memorize
it
that.
comes up, yes.
Okay.
Factoring, that's probably the most important formula that you should have learned in Algebra 2. Not the most important skill, but the most important formula. Okay, does anybody else have any other questions from the textbooks ready to go? There's no point in waiting if you have them. 56. Okay, well, what did you do for step 1?
I multiplied also x just 1.
Okay, good. So you condensed. Addition condenses into multiplication. This is what we learned in 3.3. And then I'm just going to distribute that. This sounds like what you did there.
And then I switched to e reversed.
Okay, good. And then because this is a quadratic, you put everything on one side, set equal to 0.
Yeah, I did that, but I
Okay.
didn't know where to go from there.
Well, most of the time you're trying to solve a quadratic. This assignment, excluding this assignment just for some reason has a ton of quadratic formula. But try to factor it, but if it doesn't factor, the only way to solve a quadratic 100% of the time
Oh shoot. Hopefully I don't get killed by the wrong assignment today.
is quadratic formula. Plug in 1 everywhere there's a b,
Thanks so much.
plug a 1 in everywhere there's an a, and plug in a negative e everywhere there is a c. And you get those two answers. Are you okay with how I'm plugging in A, B, and C?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, technically, there's a little bit of a catch to this, which you don't have to be stressed about as far as our test, because I'm pretty sure we do no calculator on this test. But you guys have a calculator. One of these answers actually doesn't work. Remember with the logarithms, you can have extraneous answers. Using the quadratic formula, it says one answer comes from adding and then one answer comes from subtracting. So, because I have a calculator, I can ask it, what is -1 plus the square root of 1 plus 4e all divided by 2 as a decimal? And it's about 1.2. And then notice if I plug in 1.2 into the original problem, I'm taking the log of a positive number, which is fine to do. So that's good. But the part of quadratic formula that's 1 minus, -1 minus that stuff ends up being -2.2, and you can't plug that in here or here because you can't take the log of a negative. So the minus part of quadratic formula was actually extraneous. And the only way I know that is I typed it in as a decimal and thought about plugging it into the original problem. So again, we either will have to give you a calculator or not make that happen on the test. So, but to be really correct, we need to mention that. Yes, sir.
46.
Okay. Anybody else need 56 before I slide it away? .56 is actually not as bad as it looks. But I think there's a good lesson to get out of this one. Sometimes these questions look complicated and they actually are complicated and they're pretty tough. But a question like this is actually already in exponential form. I've got something to a power equals a number. So if I switch this to logarithmic form, these two have to switch places. It's going to be in logarithmic form. This is a very unusual base, but there's nothing wrong with it. So if you recognize its exponential form, correctly switch it to logarithmic form, then what's the only other thing you need to do? Divide by 12.
Thank you. Sorry for not seeing that.
No, it's fine. It's a hard one to see. If these questions, if any of these questions were easy, then there wouldn't be a point in us in assigning them.
And then 54. I don't know where to go from dividing by 4.
Okay, well, what did you start off with?
Divide by 4.
Okay, good. To get rid of as much of that stuff as you can, especially if it puts it in exponential form or logarithmic form. This is logarithmic form, so what's it going to look like in exponential form?
Oh, yeah. So it's just, yeah, it's this. Oh, sorry. 11/4.
What's the base here?
Oh, 10.
So when you switch these two to make this go away, 10 to the 11/4 equals x minus 6. And then all you need to do is add 6 to both sides. But again, the only way these questions are going to get easier over time is just a repetition. Y'all should see that we're doing a lot of the same thing. Y'all should be getting sick of me saying switching forms, log form to exponential form to logarithmic form. That's almost every single question. Okay. Anybody else had anything else ready from the end of last class where we ran out of time? Okay. Then let me set a 15-minute timer. So try to get as many done as you can in 15 minutes, and then I will interrupt you and take a few questions, and then continue on from there. As you guys finish the bookwork, though, I certainly encourage you to turn it into Google Classroom. As always, just in case you forget it or lose it, you'd have to start over. So you turn it in Google Classroom, that makes it a little bit easier on you. If you finish the bookwork with some class time left, go ahead and move on to the practice quiz. You do not have to have the practice quiz done today. You don't have to have it done before class on Friday, but you do have to have it done by the end of class Friday. So just make sure that you're moving in the right direction.
In the grade book, it says I have a 0 for the 1.9 in English quiz.
Okay, it must not have stuck. Yeah, I remember you doing this one.
Thank you.
Alright, it says it's saved at this time, but it's always good to double check later.
Okay.
Did he already respond?
No. I was just gonna go down to the like offices and see if someone could help me.
Let's see, where's Kaminsky's office? Kaminsky.
It's like by Doctor, like down there, by the mailboxes.
I don't think so.
No,
Not for him.
is it in like an OPL type?
I think he might be first floor, phase 3.
Okay.
Would be Kaminsky, but he may not be in there.
Okay.
Geen is probably the one you should check with first. He is second floor, phase 2.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Who was the other person? Dude.
I don't know another person. I don't know anybody on campus.
Oh, is Mr. Kaminsky the other person? I should
Yeah.
email if not.
Yeah, that's the one I just sent you an email for. That's the second one I sent you.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So Mr. Geen used to be over AP for a long time, and then Kaminsky's been over AP the last few years,
Okay.
and then Mr. Geen's back in charge of AP. So
Okay.
both of them probably know the answer. It's just a matter of which
Okay.
one can you get a hold of.
Okay, thank you.
I usually always try to catch him. It must have been in the bathroom.
Oh wait, no.
So as long as you've got X equals to something in your expense, like even if it's kind of an outrageous thing, like. No, I did take notes of the 40 somehow, just cross it off the list of the time. So basically,
On ones like 11 and 12, do you want us to just leave it as that or find the decimal?
No, X equals is good.
Okay.
Exact answer is always better.
Thank you.
I think some of the book assignment says round to 3 decimal places. I don't care if you do that.
Okay.
Obviously on a test, if we say round to 3 decimal
Do it.
places, you need to, but.
Mhm.
that the shape of one-sided?
Is that the shape of what?
It's like one-sided.
No. You're thinking of a Klein bottle. Or a Mobius strip.
I saw it in Avengers Endgame.
What is that?
Some sort of circle thing called Mobius strip.
That's not what that was.
No, you're thinking Klein bottle.
Oh, Klein bottles
A
one
Klein bottle either has an inside or an outside, but not both.
Oh, is that where it like wraps in itself?
Yeah. It's like a jar, and it's either all on outside or all on inside.
Is it real or like can
Yeah,
you
you can
actually
make
make it?
Sure.
That's cool.
Isn't that like the 4D objects? That's almost not 4D.
That's all just like
What is that 4D object? It's like a 4D object. It's not like a Oh, it's like it's shaped like a jug and
It's like you're thinking Klein bottle, but I don't know why you're saying 40.
well, I saw there's like 5 videos over there that I watched all about like the theory of 4D
Go into
objects.
this.
There's a branch of mathematics called topology, where you like think about the characteristics of shapes. I never took the class, but it's like the classic example is like a coffee mug and a donut are like topologically equivalent. They have like similar properties.
So that's why cops like them. Because secretly they're geniuses.
Okay.
secretly.
I don't know what that has to do with it, but
Because they like coffee and they like donuts. Because they're like the two best things.
I don't know that they like coffee.
It's true. Fair enough. 60.
Okay, just about 3 more minutes, and then I'll do some questions on the board for you.
Is there gonna be? Well, yeah, you said that. Oh, we would just write the quadratic formula. So there will be quadratic formula on the test.
There could be.
But then when we show up to work, we want to make this possible if you play Mastermind quietly.
You're not done with the worksheet?
Yeah,
You checked your answers?
for the most part.
Sounds like you need to check your answers.
I'm too close with it.
You need to check your answers to the bookwork and the worksheet. And if y'all are acing the practice quiz, maybe you should just come take it during advisory tomorrow. Not wait till after spring break.
I would like to wait until after spring break. I'm making a cutting board in my next class.
That's good.
What class is that?
Skilled trades construction, Mr. Bradshaw. You should totally take it.
Really?
They have 5 classes that you can take per year and everybody takes it. And you can actually take things here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all are spoiled. You just don't know.
We have like an insane ag-grade department. We've got woodworking, we've got like welding bits, greenhouses.
Taking state of ag next year and everything, because they want to do some like bottom things.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently they have a thing for that here.
Yeah, yesterday I broke into a push mower.
You broke into a what?
Push mower, got into the oil pan. Got my hands all dirty.
Oh, like accidentally?
No, like
What?
purposely.
You broke into a what?
Like we opened up a push mower. And we studied all the components and how it works and
Oh,
what pieces are which. Pretty cool. Broken into is just like a little sand.
Opened it up.
Yeah, just broke into the
I was
fridge.
like, why would
you
you,
know?
All right, it's been 15 minutes. So is there a few that would help if I worked them out with you? Okay.
60. I think it's a quadratic formula, but I just can't seem to get the right things.
Okay, well first off, what do you think the first step is?
So you multiply x by x plus 2,
So you mean
like condense it.
okay, condense these, that's a good start. So that would multiply those. So do you have a step that looks like this?
Well, I got past that.
Okay, but do you have a step that looks like this?
Yes,
Okay, what do you think happens next?
minus log base 2 x plus 6, and then you divide all of this stuff on the left.
Well, you don't really minus it, but because this is log base 2 and this is log base 2, this is already equal. So you just need to make sure those parts are equal.
Oh.
It's not like they're really going away, it's just that we don't have to worry about them as far as our solving goes.
Okay, so I could have done that. Okay. And
Okay, now you're left with the quadratic, so what's always true about solving quadratics?
yeah.
Before that,
Oh, set it equal to.
you need everything on one side set equal to 0. And then I heard quadratic formula, because that's come up a bunch of times, but I don't know that you need it on this one. I think you could probably just factor. X times x gives you x squared. What's two things that multiply to negative 6?
Oh, x plus 3, x minus 2.
Okay, and then if we FOILed this, did the outer and inner part of FOIL combine to 1x?
What?
If we
Oh.
FOILed this, does this give us 1x in the middle?
Yes.
Okay. So finish solving this, you're going to think one answer is negative 3. Finish solving this, you're going to think one answer is 2. But only one of those is really correct.
2.
How do you know negative 3 is not correct?
Oh, you have to plug it in. But it's also a negative, so
You can have negative answers.
you have
That's
to work it out.
You have to imagine plugging it into the original problem. If you end up taking the log of 0 or the log of a negative, which would be here and here, that is extraneous. So there's not anything wrong with our work, it's just that it didn't actually solve it. This step is where we get to just ignore log base 2 on both sides. That's what's creating a potentially wrong answer. So. But the other good thing to do, not only should you plug it into the top, but you could plug it in up here pretty quick and check. Log base 2 of 2 would be what? If I'm plugging 2 in to see if it works.
20.
Plus, what's log base 2 of 4? Okay, it's supposed to be equal to log base 2 of 8. What is log base 2 of 8? So do you see how plugging in 2 makes it work? So, even on a longer question like that, even without a calculator, it's really not that bad to plug it in and check it. Not saying you have to do that all the time, but it's a good strategy on a quiz. Okay, somebody else have another one?
I haven't done it, but you do 42.
Well, how do you think you should start 42? We had one in our notes that looked like this. This kind of has a unique start to it.
One of the ones where you have to put the E on the other side. Or I mean, add the 5 here.
You got 3 terms here. The only way to move forward is to start off with factoring.
Oh.
So, what times what gives us e to the 2x? e to the what?
X.
Okay, e to the x times e to the x is e to the 2x. Good. What times what's going to multiply to be positive 6?
-2.
Yeah.
What was that? I didn't hear.
I mean, 2 and 3 are 1 and 6, but I was just trying to think of factor image.
Okay, it's okay to pick the, if you're doing solving by guess and check, it's okay to put down the wrong thing. 1 times 6 works for this, but do you see how the outer and inner combine to 7 e to the x, not -5 e to the x?
Yeah.
So, like, there's nothing wrong with picking 1 and 6. I wasn't looking for your final answer. I'm just looking for something that multiplies to 6. But if you look ahead, what's going to multiply to 6 but add up to -5? Okay. So now it's factored. So you can set this equal to 0 and solve, and set this equal to 0 and solve. Exponential form, switch to logarithmic form, exponential form, solve the logarithmic form. Looks like natural log of 2 and natural log of 3 both work. But that first step is super important. If you look at that and you never consider factor, then there might be a question on the test that you don't get any points for. And I think on the worksheet, the practice quiz, isn't there one on there like that?
Yes, yeah, it's
Okay.
over 7.
So likely to be on the real thing then. Okay, seems like you guys are a little bit low on questions, so I'll reset my 15-minute timer here, try to get a few more done, and be ready to ask the ones you need to ask.
Just get a bunch of just get a bunch of improvements for like 20 through 60. Or 20 through like 46.
That's a long time. Yeah, I think
Yeah, it's like I
So
feel
those worksheet.
I mean, stuff like a negative
check your answers on the worksheet.
log of 242 over log 7 plus 3.
Yeah, I mean, we can go check it out a little better, stuff like that. I mean, stuff like that does happen.
Because that's what I keep getting in most of these.
Are we gonna need to do the graphing thing that it tells us to do on the quiz?
It depends. If we allow a calculator, we could ask you to do that.
Okay.
If it's no calculator, we can ask you to do that. It is good that you do it in the book assignment, especially if you're signed up for calculus next year, because that happens a lot in calculus. A lot of times on the calculus AP exam, they give you equations to solve that either you can't do by hand, or even if you can do it by hand, it's going to take an extremely long time. So if you're not used to solving by graphing and getting like 3 decimal place answer, then that's going to be one more thing that makes calculus harder than it needs to be. So it's good practice there. Diego, which question is so funny? I said, which one of these is so funny?
That was a good one.
You about finished? Hey. You about finished? You can't hear me because you have headphones on. Are you about finished?
I'm getting.
Okay, maybe you should get refocused.
confused how to start it in that next references.
been end of our 15-minute timer, so you guys found some more that I can help with? Nothing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think you've already done it. Sorry, but 62.
62, you need to understand the first part of the question, but I took this one off the assignment because of the end of the question. So one thing that will certainly be on your test is getting you to see that you can condense these. Subtraction condenses into division. Another thing that's certainly going to be on your test is switching it from logarithmic form to exponential form. But this particular equation is just pretty crazy to solve, so we wouldn't give you something that difficult. So that's why I took that one off. If you want to stick with it and give it a shot, I have it on my website as a video, so you can just skip to the end and see if you got the same answer as me.
I have to ask questions for the review.
Yeah, since no one's got any book questions, sure.
Not really about, I don't know how to do it, but wouldn't, on number 5,
Uh-huh.
I think it would be B. Well, first of all, is that correct?
No,
No?
there would need to be C. Here's what's going to happen with B. I'm gonna work the problem backwards. So if I asked you to condense this, you should condense these two with division. Well, actually, first you got to bring up the exponents, get them out of the way. Okay, but then subtraction condenses into division. You okay with that step?
Yeah, I guess my question was, I didn't realize that C would do it, and I thought it was B, but I thought the parentheses were missing.
They are missing,
But like
but
it's-
it's been the negative's been distributed, so it's equivalent in C.
Okay.
See, the problem with yours is here, if I then condense this with multiplication, it's not gonna put this in the denominator like the question started, it would put it in the numerator, which is not what you wanted. You needed to divide also. So yes, technically there's parentheses, or you could just distribute the minus, which is what they did for C.
Okay.
But that might be the exact same question we did in the notes too. That's a very common question type. All right, we got about 25 minutes, so let me set just one more 10-minute timer, give you one more chance to speak up. I kind of want to postpone questions from the practice quiz until next class, but if no one has other book questions at the end of 10 minutes, then I will take questions from that too, for those of you that have moved on to that.
I just write my name on the board.
Oh, for bathroom pass? Yeah, so the bathroom pass is hanging right there. So as long as it's in, you can either leave your phone till you come back, or you can put your name on the board till you come back. And then take the pass with you, because someone should stop you in the hallway if you don't have one.
They wanna know if they can play Mastermind after they check their work. But they're too scared to ask you.
Well, maybe if I see their work.
I checked the answer key, I don't know correct. She's that guy.
So you don't mind if I give you the quiz on Friday?
No.
Okay, then go ahead. Oh, I did hide it though. Well, I didn't hide it, but they used my classroom for the debate tournament, so I had to put everything away.
Here's all the correct answers, just label the correct answers and put it up. Is this right? Yeah, that's it. I'm actually going to which we used to, so let's go.
That was one thing I did. I checked that out already. I checked that.
Yeah, I know where I got that from wrong.
Then it says, of course I got that, so that's I figured it out. Put back text on the board.
Christian, no, you're not done.
I did.
No.
I checked my work.
Okay, let me see.
He said he had the right answers.
That's not you checking your work. Let me see. If they're all right, then good. I'll be happy.
Yeah, and I figured out why I got some of them wrong.
It feels like we're missing some of the white lights.
The ACT kids stole. They needed it.
I mean, the debate is
Yeah.
sort of like a bright spot. Yeah, like.
Why is this? Where'd you go from here to here?
No, you can't.
See, I went from here to here
Okay, but that's-
because I saw that, and then I thought it was the same thing over there. But then I figured it out was right.
This is not natural log of 1.
It's natural log of -1, right? But you can't have natural log of -1.
Okay,
So I
but
just
you didn't
crossed it
write.
all out.
Yeah, but you didn't write -1.
Yeah, because I thought it was. Yeah. Just, can't have that. So just.
This I need to see work too.
I
don't
did
know
that
how-
in my head.
Okay, tell me what you did.
-10 divided by 2, and then it's just everything back.
And then divide by 2.
Yeah, and then divide by 2 again. Yeah. Because once you get
You need
into
to show a couple of those steps. I'm with you on the first couple. You're undoing
head.
addition, undoing multiplication, switching the forms, and undoing multiplication. And
It's
you
easy in my head. E2.
okay, then it'd be easy to write down the steps.
It'll be
You know, in calculus on an FRQ, how many points you get if you get the right answer? Well, there's usually like 4 parts on an FRQ, so you might get 4 points out of 9.
Oh, that's great, actually.
No, that's not good. That's less
Makes
than
you want
50.
at least a 3, right? 4 divided by
My
9
point
is like
is, the
close to
showing
3.
the work is the other points.
Oh.
Just getting the answers gets you less than half credit.
Yeah.
That's if you know how to do everything and get all of them right.
That's like the one.
Okay, I don't know how you went from here to here. You need to show more.
Oh, okay, so you gotta go, x plus 2 equals 20, root 6, I don't know why I said 27x, then minus x, 2 equals 26x, and then divide by 2. Or divide by 26, sorry.
Okay, well change that so your work matches your answer.
Sorry. Whoa.
Okay, I'm with you here. I don't know how you got to here.
Okay, so 8 squared, 81. 81 minus 14.
It's not 81.
Or not 81, 64, sorry. I'm not very good at math. 50 over 4, and then 25 over 2 equals 6.
Okay. Where'd the E come from in this question?
Oh, natural log. But like, I kind of wrote it so it looks really far away, so. Then I forgot that after that you gotta switch it back up there. And then you can do it, and then, yeah. That's why I got that one wrong. Same with on the front side. What do you have
Okay,
a street
why
at?
is this 5?
Why is that 5? Oh, because 35 divided by 7 is 5.
Okay. Why wouldn't I have a stream deck?
Hey, what do you use it for? Use
All of our
stream?
class stuff.
Really?
Yeah. Calculator.
Whoa, is that how you do it?
Yeah. Notebook. Well, actually,
I thought you
The
it was like
calculator
a
messes
sound
that up.
effects board.
no, you can. Yeah, you can do sound effects. I don't. Sometimes the speakers don't work though. Sometimes I do it to pull up the agendas real quick, loads them up.
So that's how you're so fast at all that stuff? You just push a button?
Prime time for my advisory students, where they're supposed to go.
It's cheap. Why doesn't every teacher do that? Because they take like 5 minutes to pull up what they want to.
Well, the school doesn't buy that for me. I had to buy my own money, so.
You're the best teacher in the school.
Yeah. He's got that dog in him.
When I want a quick, like, short video, I just use this.
Oh, is that for like the class videos?
No, that's this.
Oh.
This starts this up. See, it's running the little thing.
In the video.
Huh?
We're gonna switch.
So if I stop this, like, the last 10 seconds would be a video. I don't want to keep that though. But this is the main one. I use this for our timer. And I give you all time to work.
Oh, so that's it? You don't just pull it up on your phone or anything? You just push a button?
No.
That's great.
And then I got stuff that'll automatically send my videos and stuff to YouTube for class recordings. Just makes my life easier. Okay. You convinced me.
Thanks,
You
sir.
can.
Right spot, right color. And then yellow, red is right color, wrong spot. You didn't fill in that. I guess, yeah, there's just your stuff in there. It was because like half of it was black. That's it. Lag.
This isn't looking too good. This isn't looking
How many blue days do we have? I haven't used orange yet. It's been a while.
How did he do it? That was entirely just lucky guess. That first. Well, yeah, 'cause it's all
The
luck.
first
It's all
guess
luck.
was.
That is why.
What is actually insane? That's why it's not fun to play like this, 'cause it's just so easy that you do like a few of them.
Well, yeah, but you just couldn't get your first few.
Yeah, but like he's on.
Because otherwise it's just completely random. I mean,
Which is fun, though.
there's, yeah, when you're not having to guess.
Yeah, when you're guessing, it's a lot, because you have to think a lot more.
Because it's terrible. I got Mr. Townsend, I got it in 3.
He is.
I did get lucky, but I got it in 3.
Yeah, that, you would need some luck to get it that quick. Y'all could also just like not use one color and make it much easier.
What?
Yeah, we should start using.
Well, but
lights.
you guys barely have enough time to play, and both people take a turn, so.
Well, we just took 2, I went.
Yeah,
you
we
went
both,
already.
Okay.
Let's play one with Christian, Lily versus Christian.
Who's gonna guess it?
So I guess.
You make it, I guess.
Alright, we are down to 10 minutes, so if you guys have any other book questions you'd like me to help out with on the board, this is your last chance.
I had I started playing more other music yesterday, so eventually I did that.
Okay.
Because this morning, that's what we really had.